After helping dozens of people move to Sonoma County, I've discovered something most realtors won't tell you. The best neighborhood has nothing to do with vineyard views or downtown charm. It's about matching your daily routine to the community rhythm. Today, I'm going to show you exactly where to live based on your specific lifestyle. Let me show you exactly how this works. So before I jump into specific recommendations, let's quickly talk about what makes Sonoma County so unique. We're talking about an area that stretches from the Pacific coastline all the way to mountain ranges with weather patterns and lifestyles that can feel totally different just a few miles apart. And that's exactly why picking the right area matters, and honestly, it's confusing for most people. Good news, I'm hopefully here to help. Now, one of the coolest things about Sonoma County is just how varied it is. Over 1,500 square miles with more than 30 distinct communities. Everything from semi-urban areas to places so rural you might not see another house for miles. And most people got no idea how vast and different this area is until they really start exploring. The geography here is sort of mind-blowing. We've got coastal communities like Bodega Bay and river towns along the Russian River. We've got vineyard areas around Healdsburg and Sonoma, and then there's amazing redwood retreats in places like Occidental. I mean, those Russian River communities, which I'll dive into when we talk about investment properties, have got some of the most distinctive character in the entire county. And in fact, they're among the cheapest. And the weather, it can literally be 20 degrees different between the coast and inland. I mean, you might be bundled up in a jacket in Bodega Bay while it's 90 degrees in Sonoma or Healdsburg. And that's definitely something to think about when you're deciding where to live. Each town has got its own personality. Some places have those historic downtown areas where you can walk everywhere. Others feel more like modern suburbs with all the conveniences. Then there are spots where you barely see your neighbors. And I love that each area attracts different types of people. The vibe is just different from place to place. The biggest mistake I see people make, thinking of Sonoma County as just sort of wine country, when honestly, living in downtown Healdsburg feels completely different from living in the hills outside Sebastopol or along the Russian River. I mean, it's like different states almost. After helping dozens of people move here, I've noticed 3 things that determine whether somebody ends up being happy with where they picked. Finding a community they connect with, choosing a place that matches how they live their daily life, and understanding how places change with the seasons. The last one, it catches so many people by surprise. It's one of the reasons I recommend that you explore towns at specific times of the year, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. But now let's start with where I'd recommend for retirees and downsizers looking for that perfect mix of things to do and peaceful living. I mean, if you're retiring or downsizing in Sonoma County, 2 places stand out: Healdsburg and Sonoma. These towns give you the perfect mix of being able to walk to places, having healthcare nearby, plenty of cultural stuff to do, and communities where you can actually get involved. Healdsburg's become known as one of the best small towns in America, and for good reason. There's this pedestrian-friendly downtown plaza surrounded by amazing restaurants, wine tasting rooms, and cool little shops. And honestly, there's something pretty special about being able to walk to everything you need in such a beautiful setting. I mean, being able to walk everywhere becomes a bigger deal as you get older. And what's interesting about Healdsburg for retirees is some of the newer retirement options that have been developed. Enzo Village is a great example. I mean, it's a little quirky, but it definitely gives you an alternative option as you get older. But you don't have to live in a retirement community. The neighborhoods within walking distance of the plaza have all kinds of housing, from those gorgeous old Victorians to small ranch houses as you move out of the downtown area, that make downsizing comfortable without giving up character. And Sonoma shares some similarities with Healdsburg, but definitely has its own feel. The historic plaza is bigger with a more touristy feel, and they've also got some great resources specifically for seniors. Now, what I like about Sonoma is how it balances that small town feel while still having all of the essential services that you need. Both towns have good options for senior living, from independent communities to assisted living with good healthcare access. You've got Sonoma Valley Hospital right in town and Healdsburg District Hospital on the north side of town. If you need something more specialized, then Santa Rosa's medical facilities are just a quick drive away. But what makes Healdsburg special for retirees is something most visitors completely miss, but residents always mention it as their favorite thing. It's like all the community stuff that happens here. From the Tuesday farmers market to summer concerts in the square and regular events at the plaza, there are so many different ways to meet people and feel connected, which honestly is one of the biggest predictors of whether people enjoy retirement. Do you want to know something surprising? The retirement properties that offer the best lifestyle value in Sonoma aren't what most people think. Look for homes with these 3 things: single level living, like no stairs, walking distance to town centers, and yards that don't need tons of maintenance. And these places tend to hold their value while still making life easier. Similar to what we'll see with vacation rentals later, it's often these practical features, not the luxury amenities, that create the most satisfaction long term. But while Healdsburg and Sonoma are great for retirees, families and working professionals usually want something a little bit different. So let's look at these options next, and I'll share a counterintuitive choice that most families overlook. So before I jump into the family neighborhoods, here's something crazy. I just analyzed every single home sale in Healdsburg from last quarter, and there's a pricing pattern emerging that nobody's talking about yet. That's the kind of stuff I share with my subscribers before it hits the mainstream market reports. And if you're serious about making a smart move to Sonoma County, hit that subscribe button right now, because honestly, the difference between knowing this stuff early versus late could save you some real money. Alright, so now let's talk about where families are finding their perfect spots. Alright, so for professionals and families, Windsor and Healdsburg offer that perfect mix of good schools, family-friendly stuff to do, and decent commutes where the jobs are. I mean, these communities give you that comfortable suburban vibe while still keeping you close to both the work opportunities and all the fun wine country stuff. So Windsor, just north of Santa Rosa, is super family orientated with a really attractive downtown. It's got great parks and homes ranging from starter homes to luxury estates. I mean, what's fascinating about Windsor is how it's changed over the last decade. I mean, it really has come a long way. The town green area has turned into a genuine community hub with summer concerts, farmers markets, and holiday celebrations that really bring neighbors together. And unlike some of the events in Healdsburg that attract tourists, Windsor activities are primarily designed and attended by residents. And also being close to Charles Schulz Sonoma County Airport and Highway 101 makes commuting pretty easy. I mean, Santa Rosa is just 10 minutes away, and you can even get to San Francisco in under 90 minutes, while all the amenities of Healdsburg, again, they're just 10 minutes away. And here's the great part. You get more affordable lifestyle without giving up that wine country character. I mean, when we look at cost comparison later, you'll see Windsor offers entry-level prices that are probably 30% less than comparable Healdsburg homes. And Windsor's done a great job with economic development, creating a strong local job market so that not everyone has to commute. And there are so many cool businesses that have set up shop here, from KKBS outdoor products to some notable wineries and tech companies as well. I mean, if you want to live and work in the same community, that's definitely something to think about. Meanwhile, Healdsburg has this nice mix of traditional homes and newer developments with excellent schools across the board, and that high quality of life that appeals to professionals who can work remotely or don't mind a commute. I mean, one of the biggest changes we're seeing is all those remote workers choosing Healdsburg because they love the lifestyle while keeping their jobs with companies in the Bay Area. And this may change as more companies ask employees to go back and work full time, but certainly the people I know and the clients that I've bought here over the last few years are managing to hold off so far. And this creates a completely different community vibe than a community that's more geared to the retirement community that we talked about earlier. And the schools in Healdsburg, they're pretty impressive too. I mean, they've renovated Healdsburg High School, and the elementary and middle schools have great reputations. And there are also private options too, like Healdsburg School. But to be honest, school quality is usually the make or break factor for families choosing where to live. So want to know something most people miss? The neighborhood in Windsor that gives you the best combination of school quality and home values isn't the newest, flashiest development. It's the established areas like Vintage Greens and Windsor Creek that relocators often overlook. These neighborhoods have got mature trees, bigger lots, and direct access to the extensive trail system that connects the various parks and community spaces. Plus, they feed into Brooks Elementary, which is a solid local public school. And looking at commute patterns, there's this sweet spot in the southeastern section of Windsor. You get reasonable home prices while having quick access to both Highway 101 and the airport. Perfect if you split your time between local work and traveling for business. Now, for those looking at a second home rather than a primary residence, the priorities are completely different. So let's check out the best parts for part-time wine country living, including one hidden gem that most buyers never actually consider. So let me tell you a secret. Sonoma County's second home market is and has been an important driver of the house market because of the attraction to Bay Area residents. Recent data shows that a significant portion of property sales are going to people who don't want to live here full-time, with estimates ranging between 15 and 20% depending on the area. If you're looking for that perfect wine country getaway, the rural areas around Healdsburg, Helland, Kenwood, Glenwood and Sonoma give you that ideal balance of privacy but still being close enough to stuff in wine country, as well as still being pretty close to San Francisco. Now, these areas deliver that quintessential wine country experience that everyone dreams about. I mean, gorgeous vineyard views, privacy, peaceful settings, but it's still just a 20-minute drive from great shopping, great dining, and everything else that you might want. And what's cool about these locations is how they give you that classic wine country lifestyle without dealing with the tourist crowds that sometimes take over some downtown areas. And unlike the Russian River investment properties we'll discuss next, these areas typically have fewer vacation rentals and more year-round and seasonal residents. One thing that a lot of people rely on are companies like Sonoma Second Homes that have amazing personalized home management services that make owning a place here actually totally doable with minimal effort on your part. These companies handle everything for you when you're not around, and I mean everything from security to garden maintenance to even stocking your fridge before you arrive. If you're only using your wine country home a few times a year, I mean, this is huge. Plus, a lot of people think, oh, they want this like big country property, but the reality is, for most second home owners, there's a real sort of Goldilocks zone for second homes on 1 to 5 acres, because you can get privacy without owning tens of acres of property. That size, it gives you the privacy without an overwhelming maintenance nightmare when you're not there. Because honestly, you want enough land to feel like you've escaped, but not so much that you're stressed about keeping it up, or you end up with huge costs to get somebody to professionally maintain it for you. Also, the demand for second homes here just keeps growing, which creates excellent potential for appreciation in these premium areas. I mean, the wine country retreat market has stayed surprisingly strong, even when the economy gets shaky, especially for properties with distinctive character, authentic charm, and that are turnkey. And here's something interesting most people don't realize about Sonoma County vacation properties. The ideal locations aren't always the obvious tourist spot everyone knows about. For example, the Dry Creek Valley area northwest of Healdsburg has these spectacular vineyard settings with easy access to town. Let me ask you, do you want to know the best kept secret for second homes around here? It's not where most buyers initially look. It's this overlooked area that locals consider the hidden gem of Sonoma County, and that's the Bennett Valley region, which is southeast of Santa Rosa. This area's got those gentle rolling hills, vineyard views, and rural feel, while being just minutes from urban amenities. And it's just that much cheaper than a lot of the areas that you might have heard about. It's generally warmer and sunnier than areas further west, and there's this great sense of community among the residents, whether they live there full-time or part-time. And after working with tons of second home buyers, I've noticed something surprising. The feature that creates the most satisfaction isn't the obvious wine country cliche. It's not the vineyard view or the infinity pool, though those are certainly nice. It's outdoor living spaces that really connect seamlessly to the indoor, places where people can entertain friends and family. I mean, people constantly tell me that covered patios, screen porches, and outdoor kitchens completely transform their experience by creating more living space that really captures the essence of wine country. But if you're more focused on investment potential and rental income, then different communities make more sense. Let's check those out next, and I'll reveal which type of property consistently generates the highest ROI. If investment return and vacation rental potential are your priorities, the areas that drive the highest purchase price to income ratio are places like the Russian River, the outskirts of Healdsburg and Sonoma, and then Glen Ellen and Kenwood. These areas combine strong rental demand, high rents for the purchase price, and good appreciation potential. Basically, a pretty attractive package for investors. The only challenge is that because of restrictions that were put in place in August 2023, it's harder to find good places in some of these areas because of various caps and exclusion zones that the county's put in place. But that's why we have a private client site for clients looking for a vacation rental, where we post every property that is eligible to be listed as a vacation rental that comes on the market. So places like Guerneville, Forestville, and Duncan Mills in the Russian River area have got these unique properties with features that let you charge a premium rental rates, whether it's river views, beach access, and being close to outdoor recreation. The challenge with those areas is because of the restrictions, those places are few and far between. So you really need to have your finger on the pulse to identify these properties when they come up for sale. So whether you want maximum rental income or just a part-time getaway that helps pay for itself, these communities are worth a serious look because the price point is the lowest of any area in the county that is good for vacation rental investments. Compared to the high-end vineyard properties in Sonoma and Healdsburg that we discussed earlier, you're looking at 50% discount for comparable square footage. Now, the vacation rental market here stays strong most of the year round. I mean, you've got summer river activities, fall harvest season, and then then wine events on the shoulder seasons, creating a consistent demand. I mean, what's cool is that the variety of attractions in Sonoma County creates rental opportunities in all seasons. It's not just crazy in the summer months, although that's clearly a really strong time of year. Plus, the property management infrastructure in these areas is super well established, with companies that specialize in maximizing your rental income while taking care of your property. And honestly, professional management is essential if you live somewhere else and want to optimize your returns without all the headaches. I mean, if you want to know what type of vacation rental consistently generates the highest ROI, it's not the luxury vineyard estate, it's a very specific configuration that appeals to the most lucrative guest demographic. You know, your modern cabin or renovated homes with 3 to 4 bedrooms, hot tubs, outdoor gathering spaces, and distinctive architectural character that pops off the page when it's on Airbnb. I mean, these properties hit the sweet spot for groups of 6 to 8 people who tend to be the highest spending category of wine country visitors. If you are looking for a vacation rental investment that is more of a wine country feel, then you would need to focus in areas just outside the various exclusion zones around Sonoma, Healdsburg, Glen Ellen, and Kenwood. It's these areas that have got the best performing vacation rentals based on the ratio of purchase price to income. However, even within these areas, there are properties that stand out because they've got elevated settings with views or access to a creek, or properties with architectural interest, or multiple outdoor areas and amenities and outdoor kitchens. But something really interesting about Sonoma County real estate is how quickly communities can transform. I mean, if you take Forestville, for example, it's seen significant gentrification over the past few years, with new restaurants, tasting rooms, and shops attracting a more upscale visitor. Investors who spotted this shift early have seen some pretty exceptional returns because they attract both guests looking for a wine country experience and also ones looking for access to the river. And it's been particularly exaggerated because of the increased restrictions in Guerneville. When we talk about practical considerations later, I'll explain a timing strategy that can help you identify those emerging areas before prices skyrocket. Alright, so now that we've covered the best areas for different needs, let's compare them directly to help you figure out which one makes sense for your situation. With so many great options across the county, I mean, how do you make the final call? Well, let's compare these communities across the stuff that matters most. How much it costs to live, the pace of life, amenities, and investment potential. This side-by-side look should help clarify which area matches what you're looking for. I mean, looking at the cost of living, Healdsburg and Sonoma are definitely premium priced areas, with median home prices around 1.2 to 1.5 million for Healdsburg and around just under 1 million for Sonoma. Windsor offers better value with median prices between 800 and 850,000, and then the Russian River is the most affordable options with prices generally between 600 and 800,000. I mean, what's crazy about Sonoma County real estate is how dramatically prices can change within just a few miles based on the community vibe and also the amenities that are nearby. You'll see this exact pattern play out when we talk about those hidden gem neighborhoods that many relocators miss. I mean, when it comes to the pace of life, Sonoma gives you that most relaxed environment with its spacious plaza and unhurried atmosphere, and Healdsburg balances energy and tranquility. It gets livelier during weekends and events, but never feels overwhelming. And then Windsor feels more like a familiar suburb with its planned communities and family-orientated activities. And then the Russian River communities have got this eclectic, casual vibe with a counterculture history that still influences how they feel today. For amenities in each area, each has got its own strength. I mean, Healdsburg's incredible for dining and wine experiences. It's got more than 30 tasting rooms and restaurants within walking distance of the plaza. Sonoma shines with history and community, with its mission-era buildings and strong local organizations. I mean, Windsor's amazing for family activities with extensive parks, sports facilities, and youth programs. And then the Russian River, you can't beat outdoor recreation with river access, redwood forests, and being close to the coast, which you definitely shouldn't underestimate. This is why the decision-making framework I mentioned earlier becomes so important. I mean, these different amenity profiles attract very different residents. And our investment potential ranges from steady growth in established areas to potentially high returns in up-and-coming communities. If appreciation is a big concern for you, then this matters. I mean, Healdsburg and Sonoma are like the blue-chip investments of Sonoma County. Consistent long-term growth, and they hold up well when the market gets a bit shakier. Windsor offers solid, steady appreciation with less volatility, and the Russian River area is one where prices, they've definitely been hit really hard over the past 2 years because of the changing vacation rental legislation. And we've got 4 properties for sale in this area right now, all for less than the sellers paid 2 or 3 years ago. So after helping so many clients make this decision, I've developed a framework that leads to successful location choices. It involves weighing these 5 factors based on your priorities, your daily routine, how and where you'll spend the most days, your social and community connections, your outdoor activities that you enjoy in the recreation, how accessible services and amenities need to be, and your long-term adaptability as your needs change. I mean, what's fascinating is how differently people weigh these factors based on their values and their lifestyle. But want to know something surprising? Based on relocation satisfaction surveys, the fact that most reliable predicts long-term happiness with your Sonoma County location choice isn't what most people focus on initially. It's not the property itself or even the community amenities. It's the lifestyle alignment between your daily patterns and the rhythm of the community. For example, someone who loves a quiet morning coffee followed by a walk in the redwoods might be better suited to some of the neighborhoods in West County, but someone who gets energized by being around people with access to great food and wine might be happier in somewhere like Healdsburg with so many community events bringing everyone together. So now let's talk about some practical stuff that can make or break your move to Sonoma County. I mean, no matter which community you choose, it's important to think about how you're going to experience it in advance of moving here. So beyond picking the right community, some practical things can make or break your Sonoma County relocation. I mean, these insider tips will help you avoid some of the common pitfalls and make your transition to wine country just a lot smoother. First up is understanding the microclimates here. It's a big deal because coastal areas can be literally 20 degrees cooler than inland valleys. And that affects everything from your gardening choices to your energy bills to when you can go for a bike ride. I mean, what's wild about Sonoma County is that you can literally drive through different weather systems within a 30-minute drive. I mean, if you're looking at a property in western Sonoma County near Sebastopol or Occidental, expect way more rainfall and fog than in some of the eastern valleys. This is exactly why I recommended earlier that you visit during different seasons before making a final decision. And transportation is another thing to think about because while each community has its own charms, Sonoma County is still pretty car dependent. You can walk around town centers, but most daily activities do mean driving. The county's road network is extensive, but if you'll be commuting to a specific location, consider traffic patterns. I mean, Highway 101 can get pretty backed up during peak hours, especially through Santa Rosa. And one thing people often overlook is community engagement. I mean, it's the strongest predictor of whether people love where they relocate to, and it's whether they connect with the community. And each area has got different ways to get involved, from volunteer opportunities to local events. So making connections in a new place, I mean, can be tough, particularly as you get older, but Sonoma County makes it easier. In Healdsburg, for example, the farmers market or the Tuesday music night is like a weekly social club where newcomers quickly meet neighbors and you bump into the same people week after week. I mean, timing matters too. Seasonality affects both property and availability and pricing. The Sonoma County's market's got pretty predictable cycles. The highest inventory typically comes in the spring and early summer, but the best pricing is often found during the slower winter months, but there's obviously not as much to choose from. So as things stand right now, as the market's cooling down a little bit, it's not a bad idea to keep your eye on properties and have a look through the summer, and then when the winter comes and the listings haven't sold, then a lot of sellers and you have to get a lot more serious on their price. But another big consideration is how you'll integrate into the local community. I mean, Sonoma County residents value authenticity and community contribution, so finding ways to participate in local activities can dramatically improve your experience here. This might mean joining a community garden in Sebastopol, or volunteering with the local theatre in Sonoma, or participating in river cleanup days in Guerndal. So do you want the single most valuable tip before you finalize your community choice? Do this type of visit that most relocators completely miss. Spend time in your target community during the least appealing month. If you're considering a Russian River property, visit during the rainy season. If you're looking at Healdsburg or Sonoma, experience a summer weekend with peak tourist traffic. This worst case scenario visit gives you a perspective that vacation style visits often won't show you. So now that you've got a good understanding of Sonoma County's best communities, let me share how I can help you explore them firsthand. Alright, we've covered Sonoma County's top communities based on different lifestyles, from retiree-friendly Healdsburg and Sonoma to family-focused Windsor, second home spots near Glen Ellen, and then rental opportunities in the Russian River. Each has its own strengths depending on what matters to you. The key takeaway? Best depends entirely on your goals. What's perfect for a retiree might not suit a young family family, and a peaceful second home spot could be all wrong for an investor chasing high returns. So if you're seriously thinking about moving to Sonoma County, email me at david@BruingtonHargreaves.com and let's chat. I guarantee you'll walk away one step closer to finding your dream home. I mean, I've helped dozens of people do just that, and I'd be thrilled to work with you. You could be the next to land a great deal in 2025, and now's the time to start. And if you found this video helpful, check out the next one I've linked here. I go deeper into why Sonoma County is booming in 2025 and share insider tips that could save you thousands and help your wine country move go smoothly. So thanks for watching this, and see you in the next video.